All right, what's up, y'all? We got Cheno LYFE on the line here. We're going to go over a little bit of everything with him, from his writing process to how he got started to how he got involved with some of the features that he had on his album. Just a little bit of everything. So what's going on, man?
Everything good, man. Ready to get into this interview.
Man, word. All right, man, let's go ahead and just jump right into it, man. So really, for you, how did you get started, in the Christian hip hop genre of music?
How I got started, I was in prison, and a friend of mine asked me to write some music with him or whatnot. At that point, I had never wrote any. About 23 years old. And I remember that he was asking me about it, and then one day we were in the church service, and they had this song that they were working on, and he was like, man, why don't you write a verse to it? I had never written to anything, but I kind of kept that tempo in my head, wrote the verse to it, came back to practice, they loved it. They were like, yeah, let's do it on Sunday. And on Sunday morning church, we did it, man, and that was like the first time I did it. After that, continued to write. Church out of Jacksonville, Potter's House, Teddy D goes to Tomcat. They came over there to the prison where we were at, and the dude Tomcat shot me some beats. And I remember from New One, shot me a CD from New One out of California, and I wrote to it. Was recording in there, with a tape deck and church system and a microphone. It was illegal as heck, but I recorded 22 songs. Thank God I never went to the box. And sent them home, and yeah, man, that's pretty much where it started at. Once I got home, I just started recording with different friends of mine and mixtapes and stuff. Did about three, 4 mixtapes. So yeah, that's pretty much how I got started.
Man, word. Okay, so let's get into this. When did the connection for you with Good City Music come about, and how did that really, go down?
We've always done work in the city together. We're all from South Florida. Been a very tight-knit group for years. And it wasn't until recently, probably this year sometime, we kind of sat down and we were, it's always been Amanda's vision. It's always been my vision on the other side to kind of join forces between everybody and kind of put together different talents, not only rapping, but just different talents to be able to help each other out and move forward. And, we spoke about it. And, yeah, a little bit earlier, not this year, last year, we kind of decided, okay, let's try it. We tried it, and, it's the first project that got released on there. And it's been good. We've always been friends. We've traveled together. We've done a million events together. We hang out together. They've been over my house. I've been over their house. Our families know each other. My her daughter comes over here and plays with my kids. My kids go over there and play with them. So it's like, it's family. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely, man. Definitely get that. Let's get into this as well. How did you get hooked up? I know that they are, they're kind of in that area, out in Florida and everything too. But how did you really get, hooked up on with Rhema Soul and them? Because I know you do, quite a bit of stuff with them as well. So what is the connection there? How did all that come about, with them?
Yeah, well, Good City Music is Rhema Soul. When I meant Good City Music, I meant Rhema Soul, Butter P, K-Nuff, and Juan Love. So, like I said, they've been in the city. We're South Florida, so we've done a lot of our stuff, together. We've known each other for some years now, but we've been friends. Same thing with Martin. Martin was in and out the scene, and he became a youth pastor. Really good friend of ours, Marty Mark, from Social Fernie as well in South Florida. Came into the scene a few years ago when he got out of prison, and really just hung out with us. Very quiet, would just chill with us and not say much. And then little by little started doing music, and we would see him at more events, and we got to know him a little bit more, and that relationship developed a little bit more as we started talking and online and Twitter. And then we just became cool. But yeah, all of us hang together. Everybody in the city, we've been here for years, and everybody knows each other. It's a circle, and we've, South Florida has, which I'm thankful for it. It's a little bit different now because everybody's kind of like doing, the grown man stuff and not so much music, but certain people are starting to do music again, and it's starting to catch that vibe back. But yeah, it's just the city, man. We know each other from here.
Okay. Yeah, I was actually supposed to be out there a couple months back, but I'll be, if I'm not mistaken, be out there. Flavor Fest, couple of the cats. I know Cheno LYFE is trying to get me to come out. A few other people, so I should be out there for that. Out that way, and maybe we can hook up for that and stuff. Let's get into what for you. For you, I know a lot of different people that I've talked to do it differently. But when you do, when you sit down to write, what is your writing process like when you're working on a mixtape or an album or an EP or whatever it may be?
Yeah. Writing process, man. I try to just clear my head. I try to get to a place. I love writing at night where everything is just quiet. I can put on the headphones and just kind of zone out, listen to the beat, and just kind of see what it needs. Like, what does it feel like? What does the record feel like? Obviously, I have listened to it before. I usually try to like get the beat and listen to it a little bit before I even start writing. Once I feel comfortable with the beat or whatnot, I'll sit there and I'll just start writing. Really, there's no process to it. It's just, I try to find that first word. Like, I'll try to freestyle through it until I catch that first thought, that first idea, that first sentence. Once that bar comes and, everything tries to flow, I try to fit it according to what the process, what the concept is. If I'm rapping about, anything, whatever it is, my kids, I'll just sit there and little by little try to shape it around there. Think of funny moments or, a couple punchlines that I could throw in somewhere in there that, that define the kids. And then I just kind of go through that. I'm talking about premillennialism, and I want to talk about that, then I'll kind of like sit down and study it a little bit, read some, and then come back to it and write it. If whatever it is, the concept, whatever it is, I try to follow that script.
Okay, yeah, I definitely like that. Like I said, a couple of different people that I've talked to. Some people will just, there's been a couple of people I've talked to that'll just sit down and man, they've mentioned that they'll just sit down and in 20, 30 minutes just bang out something, and other people, will pick apart different songs and do different things that way. So that's definitely pretty cool. I guess let's get into this. How did you get on the album wise? Let's jump into the album. Album wise, how did the name of it come about? How did Lunar come about?
Well, Lunar, I try to come up, my album names, I try to wrestle with them a little bit, try to make them where they're ideas, they mean something. Home was my first album. Everything starts at home. Home is the first plate when you're playing a sport, baseball. Home is, where the heart is, et cetera, et cetera. It was my city. That's where my heart was at the moment, and it still is right now. So I kind of wanted to keep that theme, like I want to keep a theme together of at that moment, what I'm feeling and what I want to convey. And Lunar was something that I wanted to, when you listen to the album's very transparent, which I hate. I absolutely hate that word. I don't even know why I just said it. But it's very, me. I kind of show myself as a reflection of Christ in many different areas, and the topics are, they range from serious to fun, but it's just who I am, and I wanted to tag something on there that meant that showed that, heavy into, Jesus, and I love him, and I want to reflect him in everything that I do, so I wanted something to define that, and obviously the moon, it reflects the sun. So as the moon reflects the sun, we reflect the sun as well, S-O-N. And I didn't want to call it moon. It sounds weird, so I chose the word lunar, which is it means just the moon. And went from there, bro. That's it.
Okay. Let's get. Okay, I want definitely get into this as well too. You know, I know I've had a couple people, you know, once I mentioned I was gonna be interviewing you that wanted to know about this as well. For you, how did you really, decide, okay, well, hey, here's who I want to feature on this song, or here's who I want to feature on this song. I'm sure, like every, all the Good City Music people, that's pretty much, no brainer, and Social Club and those cats. But everybody else, really, how did you come about, deciding that is who you wanted for each particular track?
Well, obviously you want to finish the track, and then you want to put it, as opposed to the way that I wanted to do it. I was like, okay, on this track I want to put this person because I think I want to talk about this, and I think this person could talk about it with me. And then Butter P from Rainbow Soul, she was like, Cheno, record the songs, finish everything. Once it's mixed and you can hear it, then you say, okay, this person would sound good in it. So obviously we went with the boss's side, and we did it. Mostly all of my features, obviously outside of the camp of Good City Music in South Florida, mostly everybody that's on my album is pretty much from my church and just friends of mine, people that are talented, I think, beyond words, and people that I wanted just to get on there. I care less, what notoriety we get from a feature, as opposed to, like, these are my friends, and it was fun for me to make music with them. So it was just getting a bunch of people from church that they may never record an album, or they may record an album. You may get to know them, or you may never get to know them, but they were just friends of mine that I decided, man, I want this person to sing on this. I think it'll sound really cool. And, man, I'm proud of them, man. They did amazing. So many good features on there, and basically all of them are people from my church.
Okay, man, that's definitely cool. One, outside of, at least for me, outside of, all the Florida camp, outside of, Social Club, and, all of them, Ray King, and all of them, one that really stood out for me, and you mentioned him earlier, is Petty D, because that dude, everybody mentions him all the time, for the most part, a living legend in the game, been around for a while, and so that's what, a lot of people love him. So that's one that, at least for me, that really stood out. One of, at least on the songs, when I went through and listened to everything, one that I was really digging, because I can definitely, I could sit down and listen to Petty D for 4 or 5 hours at a time and not get bored at all. So it's, that was one for me that I definitely was digging as well. Let's get into this as well. Because I know y'all did the contest, when y'all had the contest for, to try to win the shoes and everything. How, whose idea was that? How did that really come about and everything?
So say that one more time, dude, because you broke up a little bit.
Oh, that's fine. No, I was asking. I know y'all did y'all's contest for everybody to try to win the shoes, yeah. And everything. How, whose idea was it, and what, how did that really come about, and go about?
It was my idea. I wanted to do something, give away something, obviously that is practical, that people will use all the time, and something that obviously stays within the brand of Lunar. And I started thinking about some shoes, and I had some different brand names that came to mind. And one day I just went on Nike, and I remember just researching it, and I typed in Lunar just to even check to see what came out. And sure enough, like, Nike had these Lunar shoes spelled the same exact way, and I was like, okay, well, definitely gonna do this. Core Credit Enhancement, CoreCreditEnhancement.com. Good friend of mine, Mario Barreau, out of New Orleans, Baton Rouge. He sat there and he was like, bro, talk to him, he'll sponsor it. So he paid for the shoes. That was the way that we get it on. Then I talked to Jay Soto, awesome designer out of Atlanta, amazing man of God, pastor. And he kind of designed the graphic work for us or whatnot. And yeah, we put it to work. And we had one of the people from Good City Music go on there and just pick a person randomly from all the pre-orders. And yeah, so we had